Crisp.
Hi,
Dolls.
dolls. We are once again coming to you from opposite areas of the country.
I'm just a few states over in Texas, dolls.
How's
I'm in
Tejas?
Austin right now. I mean, as you can see, I'm in a really lovely setting. No, this is not a Zoom background. This
No,
is
Carrie's in like a mansion with recessed lighting. He's like podcasting from the library of the mansion. It's really like
it's
professional.
parlor vibes.
It's rich.
Um, we're house sitting for dear friends, and they have really cute dogs who are sitting. You can't see them, but they're right there. And then they
What
have
kind of
these
dogs?
two, one of those shaggy dogs with hair over their eyes, and then a little like Shih Tzu who's like the cutest. They're both, her name's Vivian.
Cute.
And then they have these two cats who are both boys and they're very powerful.
God, they're really living the dream. Four
And
pets.
they're like really cute cats, you know, like those like cherubic looking ones. And
Mm-hmm. They're
one of
like
them is
Persians.
sassy, kind of, I think. And then one of them is like apparently like notorious and like does not like people. But when I walked in yesterday, when they showed us the house just to give us like the lowdown, he immediately turned on his back and revealed his underside to me.
That's a huge
And
sign of trust.
yeah, I felt like he was telling me, I see you, bitch.
I
I
could
see you, gay.
honestly see you having cats, and I mean that as a compliment.
No, I mean, I'm not a cat person, but with these cats, I'm like, I love cats.
Yeah, like I could see you having like a really strong bond with a cat who gets you and you get it. I could see you being like a cat whisperer of sorts, even.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of good for me because they're really boundaried and I'm codependent. So they might teach me a thing or two about,
They're not always going to be around when you want them to be around, but then when they make their presence known and they choose to be with you, it's the best feeling
yeah.
ever.
And then this other cat, he's more friendly. He came right up to me when I was watching Jersey Shore and got on my stomach and went for literally 10 minutes, stepped on me like he was stomping grapes
Yeah, he made muffins.
for literally 10 minutes. And he
That's
just,
the best.
with like un complete focused eye contact. And it was like, I feel intimate. This is intimate.
That's what you need. You need an animal to choose you and really like paw you lovingly and then jump away,
I
but
do
know
have
that
a
it'll
kitty at
come
home.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving this for
How are you,
you.
doll?
Doll,
Your
I'm
hair looks even
good.
better over Zoom. Like in
Thanks.
person, obviously, but over Zoom, it's like she did it.
It's really incredible to be at this point in my life where I cut my hair off and never looked back. And honestly, I slept like I showered yesterday, let it air dry, slept on it, and this is what it looks like today. It's like truly the
It's
low
settling.
maintenance hair of my dreams.
I think it's settling even more than when I saw you.
Yeah, because I got low lights. So that was the big
Mm.
that's helped because I feel like the
Oh, I see
blonde
them.
with a bob is like a little bit it's like wasn't working for me and I needed like a color update. So I'm trying to be a little more natural.
I
Um
love.
yeah, but I'm so into it. It just is like
It's
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 true
subtle.
freedom. Hmm.
How did everyone when you were out this weekend were people like, "Oh,
People are loving it. The reactions have been super positive. Even my
good.
mom, who was like such a naysayer, she loves it. So that's a huge
A win
win. Yeah, for
for the
the whole
community."
community. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm just like living. It's nice to not have like 10 inches more of hair to have to worry about dealing with.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It just was such, I was truly just like oppressed by the lengths. That's why I was pulling it back so often in a sleek bun because I was like, I don't want to wash this mop. I don't want to like spend 45 minutes trying to blow dry it. Just like I have limited time and energy, and dealing with that is just not part of my massive to-do list.
You were sort of like in the closet as a Bob.
Yeah.
You
Took a
were
long
like kind
time
of,
to
mm-hmm.
feel it out. to do the emotional work to get to a place of bobbing. It
There's a
may
lot of
look,
emotional labor.
oh my God. It may look just like effortless, flawless. Like I just went into the salon one day and was like, just cut it
Of
off out of nowhere. But it was actually like a year, maybe like a year and a half of like a deep soul questioning. Am I ready for this? Writing about
mm,
it, figuring out like how I
no.
felt about it. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I
You
like
journaled?
journaled. Oh,
I mean, I get that.
like because every other time I said this before, but it's like I've made the impulsive decision and then really regretted it and it like made me depressed along with many other life decisions that would make me depressed, but that was definitely like part of it. So I didn't want to repeat that because I know that that's like a pattern that I have. So I was like, okay, I need to get to a point where I'm like ready and this is a decision that I want to make out of confidence and not have
Mm,
any fear involved. Like I have to like release all fear of like what if I hate it? What if I
mm,
miss my hair? What if I get sad when I look at people with long hair? Like it had to really be like I want this and this is like the confident next step and I'm just fucking owning it and this is
you
my
are
vibe. So
good
that's
for
that.
you.
Thanks.
I should start journaling about my hair.
I mean, I journal about
I feel
tons
very,
of other stuff, but I like that was a focus.
I mean, I'm in a journey right now because
Yeah, what's your
one of the
journey?
worst things one of the worst things to happen to someone who's as visually impaired as myself is when you realize you're out of the one contact because if you have two different
Oh my
prescriptions.
God. Your contact drama
So
rages on. That's why you're in
so I was wondering,
glasses.
yeah, and I always feel very undone when I'm wearing glasses. Like I feel hungover whenever I wear glasses and like I don't feel myself. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like, "You look so cute in glasses," but I'm like,
You're not
"No.
a glasses gay. And that's a good
No."
thing, I think.
I mean, some people look fucking hot in glasses. I just don't. I look Magooish in glasses and I look positively frumpy and it's not I don't feel myself. I don't feel settled. I feel really like kind of like when I'm wearing glass, I feel really like I can't go
Yeah, it's like
outside.
cozy. Yeah, you look like
Yeah.
cozy. I was like, oh, he's having a down day.
No, if I could, I'd be riding high in Austin with my contacts on and like we might go to a gay bar later and I'm like I can't be I don't, I don't really want to be seen kind of like Harry like wearing a disguise.
The good news is I think the readers like live for Icaro and glasses moments. So you're really the only one that feels that about you and glasses. You know what I mean? Like the rest of the world either thinks you look great or they don't give a shit at all.
Yeah, and I love both those options. I'm just it's really like and I say this with like I'm really it's coming down to the wire with like I need to really start thinking about LASIK.
Ugh, yes. Get LASIK, doll. Get your little
I know.
eyeballs lasered out your head.
It's really hard. Like I feel like I'm lucky I don't have like a lot of things that like impede my daily existence like physically, but I do have like horrific vision. And it's like a struggle and I've had shitty vision since I was 10 and it's truly it's astonishing how blind I am when I take my glasses off. And if and people I don't think people realize like what
They
it's
don't
like.
realize your struggle.
No, they don't know, but they it's like it's truly do you know what it feels like for a girl in this world, but do you know what it feels like to be have -7 and -6 eyes?
I don't.
Do
I have
you
great
know?
vision.
Fuck you. No,
But
you're
like
blessed. It's
has the whole is LASIK covered by insurance to some extent?
I don't think it is. I think it's still considered
Oh, because you have
vanity,
to
which is crazy,
well, eyeball stuff isn't covered by regular health insurance. It's like its own insurance. Because
which is weird.
I pay for my health and like dental, but
Optometry,
I didn't get
ophthalmology.
eye because I haven't like,
Hmm.
but maybe I should. I don't know.
I mean, everyone should
Damn.
go get checked once a year, but
You should definitely get
I'm
LASIK. It feels like LASIK
It's
should be
actually
like $35 now to get because it's such an old technology.
it's not as expensive as you. I think it's like 3 grand, which I need.
That
I need to be like start saving up for that. But like I'm down. It's worth it. Like that's 10 years,
yeah.
20 years of like good vision.
Yeah.
And my thing, and I've said this before, but like I'm saying this with sincerity too. Like if we are in a place of like societal collapse at some point, I don't want to be like driving to Utah to find 1-800 contacts to go like loot their headquarters.
No, you're literally going to be like that Twilight Zone episode of the guy who was the
Yes.
last person
Yes.
standing. That haunts me
And
all
all
the
he wants is
time.
to read books.
Yeah, you have to get LASIK now that you said that.
I would literally, I guess I would just become like an oracle if I didn't have, I would just be like, I'm just gonna go full oracle and
I
be
love
like
that.
post-apocalyptic oracle
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, I can't see, so I'm gonna just tell people what I see.
Yeah. You'll read them like a cheap novel, but you'll be blind
But
as
I
a
have to
bat.
really,
You could go live in a
like,
cave.
I can
You
use
would have to go full cave.
echolocation.
You'd have to go full, you would
Yeah,
go bat. You'd be
I'll
like,
be like the descent.
mm-hmm.
I have to say, I need to shout out the wonderful, probably Mormon people who run 1-800 contacts in Utah. They're so amazing and friendly, and they're prompt as fuck.
Tones. Stop. Sorry.
Tony,
Tony, no.
don't be sorry.
Uh-uh.
Donya, what's he
Tony.
doing?
He's just barking. He's in a place of bark at everything today. From the second we've woken up, he's been set off. Everything that
He said,
happens
"Mother."
outside in the courtyard, he has an opinion about it that he is not shy to share.
Maybe it's the Halloween spirit.
It's something.
How is LA right now? Is it spooky weather or is it?
Today was the first day that it's been chilly outside. Like when I walked him and went to go get Starbucks, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm cold." I was like, "I'm
Yeah,
freezing cold. I'm gonna freeze to death if I'm exposed to these elements for too long." And
I'm
it's
gonna
just
die of
remained like kind of
exposure.
chill. Yeah, I was like, "This is me dying of exposure." Like I'm in a sweatshirt and sweatpants, but like I desperately need a coat. I was like, "It's happening. It's here."
just I'm just imagining you laying down against like a palm tree and just being like,
It's like I can't make it one step further. No, it was like truly a wintry trek to Starbucks and back. But that bodes
yeah.
well.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm
What are you
trying
being
to
for
like
Halloween
lean
this year?
in. Ugh, I don't know. I mean, I always have a cheerleader costume that's like a go-to,
Mm,
but I don't feel like that this
you could
year.
do better.
I don't really love like a dress up. I thought about a nun, but I looked at all the nun costumes online and they're really shitty.
Yeah. You
Like I
should be
don't want to
Kill
be a
Bill.
sexy nun. What?
You should be Uma and Kill Bill
Yeah, that feels like a
with your new
financial
hair.
commitment.
Yeah.
I know I was trying to think of like, oh, what is the new hair costume?
You could be Rosemary before she cuts her hair off in Rosemary's Baby.
That's a big explanation to undergo for
Yeah, that's true.
like a
You never want anything
non-iconic
to be.
look. I don't want to be something before the something in this mood. Like it's like, no, 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 you've lost me
Why don't you be Naomi Watts,
in the Watcher.
deci- deciding what role to take? Did you watch The Watcher?
No, I read the article. That was enough for me. I really don't need like more. I need like less Ryan Murphy in my life. And I already like don't watch Ryan Murphy. So that's like how much Ryan Murphy I need.
Can I just say, and this could be a controversial take.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched 2 episodes of the new American Horror Story New York City, and it
You better
it's
not.
not that bad. It's actually kind of good.
Really?
And yeah, it takes place, it's sort of like the movie Cruising. It takes
Okay.
place in like 1981 New York, and it's like in the on the kind of crest right before AIDS hits, and
Mm,
there's like a serial killer
mm,
stalking gay men and killing them.
mm.
It's actually kind of good. And I know it's like problematic and like it's kind of like a okay, it's like a
Wait,
metaphor
what's
for like
problematic?
I guess there's like some problematic elements of it in terms of like retelling the AIDS story through the guise of like a serial killer killing men, but I think it's kind of good.
Interesting.
I like the movie Cruising.
Yeah, I would rather watch that. I've actually never seen that. That's been on my list for a long time. So it's
Oh,
just there are a lot of
Lars, you'll
things that
love
I
it.
would rather watch than any sort of
Yeah,
Ryan Murphy thing. So whenever it comes down to like, am I really gonna watch this shit? I really start to I know that it's a cry for help sign that I need to figure out something that I actually want to watch. Like Dahmer, love and light to like the millions and millions of people who fucking
the
rode
billion people.
hard, the literal billion people that like loved that. I'm also like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because I watched one episode and I was like, I never want to watch this ever again. I was like, this is disgusting. It's like so fucking dark. Like I just like don't want that vibe in my life at all. But I also like I like know about all the Dahmer stuff already from like, everyone goes through that like Wikipedia serial killer phase. And then my mom was like really obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer too, weirdly.
Wow.
So she
I
talked a lot about Dahmer to me. So I'm like, I get it. I don't need to like
yeah,
reenact. I don't need to watch reenactments of this like horrible
of these
like
like poor
mute. Yeah, I don't need it. I don't
teenage
need it.
gay boys being killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um I would it's the American Horror Story like I was entertained watching it. We'll
You're
just say
having
that.
fun. You're
And
driving by
it's
the ads that are like, the ads are serving cunt. I will say there's one
I
outside of my apartment building that I look at quite a bit and I'm like, work.
mhm. I saw that one. I just like anything set in that time, like in like the hot, sweaty days of the Greenwich Village, Christopher Street in the early 80s, and it's
Yeah.
like there's something so like beautiful and haunting about that, obviously.
Who's in it?
And like,
What stars?
I mean, there's this really hot guy who plays Zachary Quinto's boyfriend, who's like, I've never seen him before, and he's truly stunning. Charlie Carver's in it, one of
Mm-hmm.
those twins. Yeah. Um, Patty LuPone.
Chic.
Uh, she plays like a Bette Midler type singing in the bathhouses. And then there's who's in it? Who else is in it? Billy Lord's in it.
Love.
Russell Tovey's in it, who I think is really
Mm.
hot. Um, this guy who's like a he's like an older gay, but he's been in a lot of shit. He's great. I forget his name.
Is Finn Wittrock in it?
I don't know yet. I'm sure more people will come in. Billy Lord plays like a doctor who's sort of like investigating the I know she plays a doctor, but she's like
That's
investigating these sort of on
I truly don't
she pulls off.
understand.
She's
Okay,
giving.
you're really like you have a lot of lenience when it comes to like 22 or 23-year-old girls playing doctors on TV and film. Because I still have a bone to
Oh,
pick
with
with
Pew.
Florence Pugh being a
I mean, yeah,
fucking brain
that was pretty
surgeon
crazy.
in Don't Worry, Darling. I'm sorry, but like if you haven't seen it, that's on you now, doll. We need to talk about this thing that is happening over and over where people are casting young
25
women,
year old
25, 26,
white women.
27, white women as doctors in movies. That's not a, you can't.
Not just doctors, neurosurgeons.
Yeah, in Don't Worry, Darling, I'm now going to spoil a lot of things for you, but I need you to come on this journey with me and get outraged about it because it's not okay and we need to like bring awareness. Florence Pugh is actually not a 50s housewife. She's a brain surgeon that's just pounding the pavement, just trying to do brain surgery, also barely scraping by on the salary of a brain surgeon, which, sorry, I know this very well because my dad was a brain surgeon for a long time. And so I was like, A, There's no one in
Just
their
having to
20s. No one in their 20s is a brain surgeon yet. Not and if you are, you're a true child genius. And if you are a brain surgeon, you're like a backup surgeon. You're like just helping out the brain surgeon. Like you're not the head brain surgeon of the emergency room at age like 26.
she's just
Cuts to
slinging
her.
36-hour shifts with Harry Styles, just
She
her
goes,
scrub ass husband at home.
cuts to her just on a brain surgery, just cutting someone's head open.
Scalpel.
She goes, all right, guys, you can close it up. She goes, close it up. You can take it from here, I hope. And then
She
walks out.
goes,
I was like, what? You're literally 19 years old.
she goes, oh guys, it's been a long day. I gotta get home now to my husband. And then she goes home and Harry Styles has like looks like Jay and Silent Bob. Like he looks like just Jay with the hair.
He
And he's
wishes
just
he
like
was as hot as Jay.
but
He's
like
just like he looks like kind of caveman-y. It's so bizarre. But back
he
to
comes
her being
home. Oh,
the head surgeon in the ER wing, head
the neuro
chief
wing. Yeah.
neurosurgeon. She goes, woof, you guys take it from here. Got it? Cool. I was like, she
Cool.
was
Got
like,
it.
she's complaining about money to Harry Styles. He's like, we don't have enough money. And she goes, I'll try and take another shift at the hospital. I was like, when you're a fucking brain surgeon, you don't
You are
take
sought
shifts
after.
at the hospital. You're like in a practice with people. I don't think you're like hurting. I don't think if you're any sort of surgeon, you're hurting for
Yeah.
money financially, is my just
I
like
think you're
thought.
what you're calling for is just more research.
I'm just calling for like all you have to do is
Is talk to
Google
someone.
how long is medical school? Like, what is the age of doctors? And then
Yeah.
cast someone in that give or take 5-year age range, like a 30 something. I just can't with like a young, like I know young women are getting cast in these roles all the time. This is nothing new, but I'm just like, you guys, like, no, that don't, for me, if I was a creator, that would take me out of it if I see like a 21-year-old operating or being like,
Mm.
call me Dr. Smith. Like, no.
People are just people would rather Hollywood would rather
Like, does no one
jump
have a
into
note on
like a
that? They're like,
pit of
what I,
spikes than cast a woman over the age of 35.
They're like, what I love about this doctor, she's so youthful. She must be incredibly smart to have gone through all of medical school, residency, completed her internships, and be a practicing physician at this time in her life. It's like, you're like, this is insane.
Yeah, it was so where do they live in that? LA?
I
New
don't, it
York?
looked like New York. I don't know. There were a lot
Sling
of logic questions.
Slingenberg.
The longer and longer I think about that movie, the more and more I'm like, this was a bad movie. But in the moment, in the weekend,
It was a sleigh.
it was a solid B plus downgraded to a B. And now I would say it's about a C plus. There's just a hard C.
You know what gets an A plus every time though?
Ugh. Jersey Shore.
I'm Carrie,
I'm Lara,
and you're
and you're
listening
listening
to
to Sexy Unique
Sexy
Podcast.
Unique Podcast.
Jersey
Jersey Shore,
Shore,
bitch.
bitch. Guys, we're in the
Guys,
calm before
we're
the
on the third
storm.
episode.
Third episode, season
I real
2.
I
Things are
realized I'd watched
percolating.
this the first half of I realized I watched the first half of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like last week. So for a second I was like, oh my God, I had like deja vu. And then I realized like I just watched it on my own because that's how much I love it.
I know. I'm deep into Family Reunion, like season 2, episode like 14. There are like 20 episodes of season 2, but like
How do they
the
do that?
I don't know. And they're also like traveling all over the place. They're like one week they're in Vegas, the next they're like back in Jersey at a house. Then they cover like the production budget must have been grand. But like
Grand.
Ronnie Ronnie it,
I
I
know.
don't know if things are ever going to change for sweet Ronnie Ortiz. Magro or Magro Ortiz. I forget which order it is in. He's been same shit, different day for years.
It's tough.
And
He's
he
he's a
loves
really
a dysfunctional relationship.
he craves it. He seeks it. Yeah, I don't wait, they vacation in Jersey at one point.
Yeah, they start in Vegas season 2, then they go back to Jersey. They do Atlantic City, I think. And then they go back to Jersey, not in a shore house, but like Snooki rents like a mansion for them. So right now they're in a mansion on the Jersey Shore, but it's not on the beach, which is has some people miffed. And Ronnie has just gotten healed from being dragged by his girlfriend while she was driving a car. She like dragged him along the road and they got in a fight and she literally dragged him. I'm not even I wish I was
That's
joking. It's so horrifying. And all the roommates are like, what the fuck? But they are talking. What I love about it is they talk really openly. You know, like if like a housewife got dragged, no one would ever say anything. Like they'd be like, they'd refer to it as like the incident. They would always like refer to it in hushed tones. They'd never
uh-huh.
be like,
But
she
they're
just got
frank about it.
dragged. No, they're like, why is he doing this? This kid always wants to do the same thing because he's like fighting with his baby mama and he's about to like hook up with another girl, this girl Jersey Barbie. And they're like, they just can't believe he situation goes, he just got dragged. He just got dragged through the car by his girlfriend. Now he's gonna go do this. I don't get it. And they're very freely referencing the drag.
Can you imagine if your parents
No, no.
drag dragged each other in a car? Like that's a
Imagine
talk
growing
about
up
drag race.
finding out that your parents got in at least like 15 physical altercations with each other. We're going in and out of getting arrested for domestic violence on each other. Your mom, one time, infamously dragged your father down the road. He had road rash like on his face and arm from getting dragged out of the side of the car. You'd be fucked up. That's what I'm saying. That's the darkest thing is like
Yeah,
this
that's so
kid is
sad.
just like it's so sad to have like a
Yeah.
child, even like
Fuck.
energetically, kids pick up on that kind of stuff. So it's just like, fuck, this is so bad. Like you need to not be on TV.
Yeah.
And you see the origins, like you see his rage popping out in these early seasons when he like pushes Snooki or like it's just shit like that where
He
you're
put
like, dude,
he
you're
shoved
up.
he shoved Sam in the first season really hard.
I know.
And
It's
her
like,
her like head, like it my stomach, I remember when I watched that recently, I'm like you just feel it in like the pit in your stomach when you see her head like whiplash. That's fucked up. And he shoves Snooki.
I know. If
You
a
don't shove
guy
her.
or anyone that's at that point, it's like unless there's some serious like behavioral intervention and like some sort of life change, which I think
They
for him
can't
would
be
be like
helped.
not drinking, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And if it's like that with like Snooki, who's a friend, who's literally never been anything but a friend to him, you can only imagine the kind of shit that happens in a relationship. And like the shit that he and his baby mama say to each other, like is unreal. The text messages they send to each other. She was
But
texting him
she's
pictures.
beating him too, right?
Oh yeah, they're like fully just like at each other. They're like trying to kill each other essentially. She sends him text messages. She'll send him pictures of Sammi with her new boyfriend and be like, this is going to be me. This is how happy I'm going to be after I fucking dump your ass and find a new man to raise your daughter. Like shit like that, where you're like, you don't come back from these kinds of like statements.
No.
Like once you start putting out that kind of, I'm a firm believer in like, you don't cross those types of lines with people because they're always going to remember like the horrible shit you said to them. Even if you don't mean it, it's like, you should
The
never go
horror.
there. Yeah. But I'm like, oof, it just is like it's looking grim. I don't think it gets any better. I think he's like off the show because he's like got arrested
He's
for like
volatile.
more domestic violence to like another girlfriend. I want to say.
I mean, it's grim in this episode. So we're still in the twilight hours of Angelina's slap heard around the house.
Angelina also has a fucking
She's
personality disorder.
she does.
She has a
She has
real
something.
serious person. She's like, I need everyone to pull out the DSM-5 and like we're diagnosing Angelina today. You think that I have fucking ODD? I've never seen such an ODD queen. I realize that I'm just like fine. I just don't like
I
authority.
I don't actually think you have ODD.
No, I
I
know.
think
I'm joking.
you have like selective ODD. She
I just
can't
have
help
a
it. It's
resistance to
pathological.
authority and like I don't like feeling like
Being told what to
reined
do.
in. Yeah, and being told what to do. She like literally has
She can't.
a crippling
Yeah, it's
personality
sad.
disorder that exists to this day. So from what I've seen, but weirdly people are standing her in the most recent season. We
Or
got so
they're
much TikTok engagement with people being like Angelina fucking rules. She's carrying this season. I was like, whoa, these are words I never thought.
maybe, or she has like just bad. I think more than anything, she just has like terrible depression.
I think it's a mixture of horrific depression, which I relate to. Like I see some of myself in the way she's acting. Like I'm
We're
like,
all
oh,
saying this
you're
as mentally ill people.
yeah, I'm like, oh, you're like horrifically depressed. But then you also have a horrific
Obstinate
personality
defiant
disorder.
disorder.
So like I'm like, may God help you. Cause that's the only thing that and like
I
maybe
like Mike.
Wellbutrin.
I like Mike shrieking, "Go to bed!" The way him and Polly shriek, it's like it tickles me. Polly also, because he never gets angry, he's hot when he's angry.
Yeah. I want him to yell at me, but
Sorry.
like as a joke. Like I want to be like with him and be like, babe, can we do something kind of crazy? Like, I just want you to yell at me. And
You're like,
then we
oh
plant.
no.
No, and I'm like, no, seriously, like, just like get mad, like, just yell at me, like, admonish me. Oof, to be admonished
Um,
by a Guido. Mm. Angelina's
Angelina is
shit
she's
faced,
fuging.
also.
She's so blackout. It's like 6 in the morning. She's wearing sunglasses. She's holding her arms. She also has a Diet Coke. I'm like, honey, put the DC down. It's 6 a.m.
She does this thing
That's like a
whenever
literal that's like injecting that's truly like shooting up with Coke
it's a
at
speedball.
6 in the morning. It's
Hmm.
drinking a Diet Coke is you might as well just like freebase cocaine because you're never gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah. I think it's like after a hard night of binge drinking to chase that with a Diet Coke, you're playing with fucking fire. You're gambling with your life. She keeps going like, and she does this currently on Family Reunion where she's like, won't people are like, stop talking to me, just stop right now and walk away, like, leave me alone. And then she'll go, Paul, what? Paul, no, like, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up, Paul. Like, you leave me alone. Like, you leave. And it's like, oh my fucking God, you're like abusive. That's abusive behavior to not listen to someone when they ask you to leave them alone and you continue. We don't talk
Well,
about that enough.
it's you're right. We hear screams in the terrace, and then none other than JWoww is awoken from her slumber.
This is
And she goes, "It's
WWE
4 in the morning." Yeah, she goes, "It's 4 in the morning."
SmackDown.
I hear screaming outside, and you just see her, and she comes, and she goes, "What's going on?" And they say, "Angelina just slapped Paul." And Angelina goes, "Yo, Jen," and then she goes, "Don't even touch me right now. Don't even come near me. If you weren't drunk right now, I'd be beating your ass."
She goes, they go, Mike goes, she smacked Paulie in the face. And then JWoww goes, who would give you the right to smack Paulie? She goes, that kid's my brother and he can't hit you, but I can. So you're lucky you're drunk, but wait for tomorrow. I was like, oh my God, I'm shaking in my boots. I
Angela,
would steal
I
away at
know.
night.
I'd get a cab and take me to the airport.
Yeah, because it's coming. She's about to go
Well,
full.
Angelina
She's about to like break a chair over Angelina's face.
Angelina has full like gaslight, like she completely denies slapping Paul. She goes, I didn't slap you, Paul. That married woman at the club did. And they're just like, what are you talking about? And Angelina is just refusing to accept reality. And then everyone leaves her, and she just is standing in the blue lit patio with her sunglasses on, just fuging and holding a Diet Coke. And I'm like, oh my God, your days are
It's
numbered.
so bad. I can't believe watching this, they had her back on the show. Like, I'm so traumatized from these early seasons. Like, I never want to see her again. I can't forgive her. Maybe other people can, but I just simply can't. It's
I can't either.
horrible. It's
I
horrible.
can't.
Paulie goes,
Um,
I never seen anything like it. I don't even know what she's saying. I never
yeah.
seen anything like it.
He goes, yo, she's got a problem.
Yeah, even they can
Um,
pick up on like the unchecked mentally ill.
First day of work for Jenni, Vin, and Ron. Jenni's not pleased because she has
I
to wear a
love
black
the
t-shirt that
girls not wanting to work.
suffocates her titties.
Yeah. Enzo is an
I love their boss Enzo.
Italian, just own a Guido who owns this gelato store, and he and Vinny are just like immediately, it's a love fest. Who's can I call you Vincenzo? And
And he
Vinny's
goes,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
instantly I'm taken back to Staten Island.
Vinny doesn't strike me. Okay, also something that Angelina always says is she's like, I'm from Staten Island. That's just like how we are. And I'm like, remembering Mob Wives, and I'm haunted because it is shades of Renee somewhat. And I'm like, is this just how people are in Staten Island? But then Vinny's pretty chill for a Staten Island person. So I'm like, I think I think you're giving Staten Island a really bad name. I'd love to
Vinny's
believe
chill.
Staten Island's better than that.
Vinny's very cruel though.
He's judgmental
He's
and
mean. He's a
rude.
mean guy.
He's mean.
He
You
he's a
have
bully.
such a bone to pick with Vinny.
No, I've been watching I watched the whole series last year, and I went from thinking he was such a cutie to being like, I would never want to be in a room with him because he just seems like a really mean person.
Mm.
Call me out if you want. I'd still suck him off. But I think he just seems like a bully.
He seems like a
Um
mama's boy to me. Like that's the read I get is that he's like very sheltered and like told he's like
he's really
amazing
mean
his
to
whole life.
women.
Yeah, because they don't treat him like
You're either a whore. Yeah. Angelina wakes up, she's has her sunglasses on in another tube top. She's holding a solo cup, and she's just sitting in the corner of the couch, and she's playing complete denial to Mike.
I
She goes,
think
yo,
this
what
is a
did I even
lie.
do last night?
I was so drunk
Oh,
last night.
100%. She's
I don't even remember what I do. Yeah, I was like, you're pretending right now because you know that you fucked up.
also, it's probably only like been 3 hours since it happened.
Yeah, you're still shit faced. She pulls Polly aside to like apologize to
Cry.
him. And when she started out her apology, like crying, I was like, my cold heart kind of defrosted. And I was like, okay, she is just like she's like a sad, lost girl
Who
who
wants
has a really
friends?
hard time making friends and feels lonely and like hurt people. And then she just immediately defaults into like, no, I was drunk. So that's why I'm trying to tell. And I was like, oh, hate her again. Don't give her a chance. Get her off the fucking show. I'm done.
she goes, she goes, since when did getting drunk and just being crazy, like, don't I get like a get out of jail free card? And Paulie's like, listen, from here on out, we cool. I accept your apology, but we're gonna go our separate ways. And she goes, what do you mean separate ways, Paul? And I'm like, I go, what did you?
Bitch.
I literally wrote down, what did you expect, Hunty? That's what I wrote.
Like, get a fucking clue. Take a
Get a
hint.
clue, Ange.
That's the hardest thing
Go
too, is like
home.
she just won't get a clue. She can't pick up on like
Mm.
the vibes.
She's she, she has
She has no vibe sensitivity.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Mike.
like she doesn't
Mm-hmm.
understand. Like if I had an inkling that people did not want to hang out with me, the
I don't.
last thing I would do is like try and force them to hang out with me or be like, no, I'm coming.
Yeah. Once
I
I
would
know,
leave.
I'm like, yeah.
I make myself
I mean, there were
scarce.
probably periods of my life younger where I was like more insecure and like felt like I had to like suffer to win their approval. But with age comes wisdom.
Ooh, doll, I'm out. I'm in another state if I feel like you don't want to hang out with me.
Yeah, I've changed my identity.
Yeah,
I'm living under an
several times.
alias.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have like
I don't want to talk
59
about the next.
passports.
I don't want to talk about Vinny and Ron because it was really fucked up.
What?
Them getting their haircut.
Oh yeah, this was like a definite indication of like pre like racial
Conversations about
reckoning where
it was
they
bad.
go down and they're like, we need a haircut. And they keep being like, we have to go to the hood. We have to go to the hood. And it's like a whole segment that's like Vinny and Ron, the package is like they go to the hood, quote unquote, of Miami to get a fresh fade. And I was like, damn, that didn't age well whatsoever.
No, it was really racist. It was I was like because
It wasn't
I just
good.
couldn't handle it.
It didn't do a lot
And just in a
for, it
place of
didn't do anything for Italian American and African American race relations. I'll tell you that right now.
it was giving shades of Tony Soprano
It's not, it's not
being a
good,
bigot.
but it's part
Mm-mm.
of history.
Damn, they fucked. I was like, you guys are this is haunting. Um, and just in a place of afternoon bed. She's hung over with a full face of makeup, staring at the wall.
Yeah, she should
So
stay there.
Mike is like, Mike feels bad. He's like, yo, I'm starting, starting to feel bad for Angelina. So he gathers everyone like a big brother into the haunting terrace, and then he has a house meeting where he basically is like, we need to have the girls really take Angelina under her wing because me and Polly can't take her with us to go GTL and pick up girls. So like you have to basically he's like you have to get her off our asses because she's cock blocking us.
I love being like, I feel so bad for her, and then being like, you guys have to hang out with her, okay?
And
And it's very
it's like
traditional gender roles. He goes, can't you go get your nails done or something? Like, go take her to go get your nails and your hair. Like, we have to go like GTL. She can't just sit there while we get a haircut.
yeah, I felt at first I was like, oh, he's having like a nuance, like he contains multitudes, but he's really just like she can't come GTL with us. She's
No,
got to
the
go with you
boys
and
want
get
to
her
have
nails done.
boys' time and they want the girls to have girls' time. So they're like, you guys have to be friends with her. So we don't have to hang out with her. And I love that that's like progressively and productively dealing with the problem, which is that everyone hates this bitch.
What are we going to do about Angelina? Um, Snooki's getting ready and she goes, I'm going classic tonight. And she puts on a leopard dress and a big bump it with stilettos. And on one of those little like half, what are those? Like a half wrap around her shoulders.
Like a pashmina.
Yeah, but it's like so tiny. A teeny tiny pashmina.
I love I love going classic Snook. She strolls out into into the kitchen and Vinny goes, "Wow, you look really hot." And she goes, "I
He
do?
goes,
You actually look
he goes,
hot," which
yeah.
I was like, "That's fucking rude. Don't say
He goes, yeah. You
actually."
you kind of took my breath away.
I
And
was
she's
like,
like, you trying to smush?
this is when it's
I
about
was
to
like, Vinny,
happen."
but also like, fuck you for that.
Oh, this wasn't that part. That's later. First the
No,
guys just really?
yeah. And then Snooky Mike goes in and he's like, Angelina, you want to come out with us tonight? And she's like, are you actually inviting me out? I'm like, don't give a mouse a cookie. She will ask for a whole bakery.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I got mixed up.
So Mike is like doing charity work and he's like, you can come out with us tonight. And he's like, the girls have to be, they'll be on their best behavior. So Angelina, of course, gets like all dolled up. She puts her jeans on. She's ready to go.
Yeah.
They get to the club and Snooki has a cig in hand and she's just watching Angelina in the corner. And she's like, yo, I feel bad for this girl because I was that girl last year. I was like, Snooki, for one day.
Yeah, but it really affected her. Like it changed her entire life.
It kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes Angelina by the hand and she brings her to like a side corridor. And she goes, listen, at the end of the day, we're family and you're not in it. But we will bring you in if you just apologize and own up for talking shit.
Just admit that you did it, that you talk shit about us. And then Angelina like sheepishly admits.
And Snooki starts bowing down to her. And then we cut to Jenni talking to them, and Jenni's just chiefing a cig and she's like looking away from Angelina.
I just love how much she hates her. And I hope that I don't think she ever comes around on her. Like
No.
even to this day, she still is like over her. You cross JWoww and she never takes you back.
Listen, she was talking shit to what was that guy's name? Her friends in Long
Mike
Island.
J420. That's literally
J420.
Home Alone when he goes, "Hey, you out there talking shit, little Mo with the janky leg, Beaks, Bony Bob, Schmidt."
You filthy animal.
Yeah, it was the same energy. No, JWoww's done with her.
But she's like, for now, I'll accept her apology. So they like Angelina's like finally accepted 10% by the girls. Meanwhile, Sammy's in a place with sunglasses at the club at the bottle service couch, and Ronnie gets completely blackout once again and starts yelling at Sam.
Vinny's like, every time Ron gets drunk now, he acts like a different person. Like it's crazy the kind of person he becomes when he's drunk. I was like, that's called alcoholism. And then
That's
they're like,
alcoholism.
his laugh gets, he's doing that laugh. And like he has like a whole different persona that comes over him. Like the second the booze hits, like crosses the blood brain barrier. And then he just goes up to Sam and he's like, what's your problem? Like, why are you being like this? And she's like, what? But she's like pouty. Like her energy is also bad, but she does not deserve to get verbally abused. And that's just what he does. He goes, fuck you, you're a fucking bitch. And then she like leaves. And I was just like, God, I can't reiterate enough how shocking it is that they remained in a relationship for 8 more years after this moment.
Like, yeah, granted, she is being kind of a joy kill, but like I would be too if I was in this place.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, but what she really wants, what's bad about the way she's acting is that she's going along with whatever he wants to do when that's not at all what she wants to do, and then holding resentment, but she's not being like honest about her own needs. She's not voicing her needs to him. She's just going along. So it causes resentment, then it causes you to act like a little pout in the corner, and you like want the other person to like intuit and like attune to you and like read your mind kind of, but she knows if she told him what she needs, he wouldn't be able to meet them. So this is like this is the compromise where it's like you're just putting both of you through misery. So but this is like, I guess how
Yeah.
then they just continued on for 8 years, for the better part of a decade with this vibe. Can you
Ronnie,
imagine
Sam, no,
your like
it's
partner calling you a fucking bitch?
no, it's traumatic. She leaves,
Yeah, but
Sam, and
goes,
then fucking Angelina goes home.
they all go, the girls go home and the guys stay out, and they decide that they're
Plus
gonna,
Snooki.
yeah, plus Snooki, who's an incredible woman. And they're all like hanging. Ronnie's like creeping on girls, dancing really close. Snooki's like look at him. Like, it's not good what he's doing. It's not good. Like, Sammy's going to find out eventually. Like, are you going to tell her? And Paul's just like, "Ugh, I don't know. I'm like keeping out of it." And they're trying to find girls to come back to like hot tub with them. And they're like, we look around and it's just grenades in the club. But they yet ask the girls to come back. And I was like, these girls aren't grenades.
No. Also, Snooki at the club. Snooki's always they always cut to her and she's randomly dancing with some like weird man. Like the guy was like looked like he was a magician. It's like she always finds like the weirdest guy or like the one gay guy in the club and
Mm-hmm.
she's just like dancing with them.
I love that
But yeah, they
about
bring back
her.
this group of girls. Vinny says they're like the Bronx Zoo.
I was like rude. Also, like, you guys are kind of grenades. If we're
Yeah, they're
really getting
grenades.
real about like who's the grenade, it's like you're just attracting like the vibe that you put out into the world. But this was like until they got like really famous or whatever. I mean, I've always been into Mike. That's neither here nor there. But like they're also grenades. They're not like the world's hottest like supermodels or like NBA players or anything.
No, they have nice Mike and Polly have crazy bodies.
Yeah,
That's it.
but I'm like
They're kind of butter faces.
a little bit. And I like that about them. But I'm just like, you're
But
mad that every girl's
stop
like
calling
not Giselle
yeah.
Bundchen. Also, I think Vinny feels like a grenade, and that's why he's so rude about it.
Yeah. Don't be rude. So they bring home these girls and they're like
All the grenades gather in the hot tub.
and they Vinny's like Vinny, he's such a little bitch. Like he's in the corner with his sunglasses on, really like tightly wound, not letting himself touch any of the girls. And he's just, I'm like, you're such an asshole.
I know you're still in the
These
fucking
girls are
hot tub
hotter
with
than
them.
you.
Yeah.
You're being like a little fuck.
He's self conscious. And then one of the, I'm also like, these men couldn't handle, like, if a woman, like, if Samantha Jones came up to them and was like,
Oh,
hey, let's fuck, they would not, they
let's have
can't handle a woman. Like, when this woman's chicken cutlet, like, boob thing falls out, they literally turn into like giddy little schoolboys and they start tossing it around. And I'm like, none of you know what it's like to be with a woman,
no.
like
It was
to
so fucking
make a
rude.
woman's pussy
Also,
wet. You've never.
before they get into the hot tub, you just hear Mike who's totally slurring and he goes, these are my best friends. I know. So there's like five girls, and Mike says like he comes too, and he's like, I come too, and I realize we're in a pool full of grenades. I'm like, they're they're all more attractive than you guys.
You can call them grenades all you want, but like you're the ones that sought them out, brought them home with you, and are like hoping to fuck them later. So like, are they really grenades?
Oh my god, I felt so bad for that woman.
I think she was blackout. I don't think she
No, I know, but
understands what was
but you
going
saw
on.
no, she's they panned to her and she was sheepishly in the corner holding and she knew and it was like and they throw the little boob pad like onto the grill at one point and like they're all just like making fun of it. The girls all turn on her and they're like, ew. I was like, you know
Over
what?
the
She's a
most
real ass
tame
bitch.
thing. Yeah. It's not like her tampon came out of her puss.
No,
It's like literally something that every girl has. I don't even know if it was a cutlet. It might have been just like a nipple cover or something. No, it was like a cutlet. Like,
it was like
who
a little pad,
cares?
but like she's
I
doing this
love
for
being
you, fuckers. Like you're making her like she's doing this because she feels like she has to,
being
or she's doing it,
scandalized. But she wants some big
because
cleave.
she wants big cleave and like let her have that moment. You, they're all gay.
I was really sad that they left the cutlet there because I was like, those things aren't cheap. Like, you can be embarrassed, but
She
I
was
would take
so.
that cutlet. She seemed
You know
really
what I
drunk
would have
because she
done?
was just truly like staring off into nothingness. Like, she disassociated in that moment. Dissociated.
I
She
would have
stared into
taken
the
it and just
void.
gone. if it was my chicken cutlet, and this is all like easier said than done, but if I had the wherewithal, I would have just taken it, bit into it, and spit it in their faces, into the
Yeah.
guys' faces. I would have
I
gone.
would have put
She
it,
should have
taken
fucking
it
like
and put it right back into my tits and pushed them up and said, I'll be leaving now. If I was there, I would have taken it and walked up to her and been like, may I? And then just like adjusted her boobs and lovingly place it back in her little bra and hike it up and then go, get
be
out of
like,
here. You're better than this,
let's
girly.
go.
Let's go. Let's go smoke a cig.
I know.
No,
Yeah, I would
people
have,
are not
or I
supportive.
wish. No, the other women turn on her.
Yeah. I'm
It's
like,
kill
give
or
that
be
back to
killed with
me.
these
It's my
guys.
friends. Yeah. That's my
Yeah, that's my
friends.
fucking friends, bitch. To
So
Mike and Polly.
no one gets laid. They're scared to death of women, actually, and they realize that they can't probably have the gay sex they dream of, which is making eye contact with each other while fucking two women at the same time. So they're like, we called you a cab and like walk them all out. The
That's what
next
they
day,
want. They're so mad they can't. They're so mad they can't have group sex and like rub their legs against each other while they fuck women.
like they're like, maybe they're approaching that in the hot tub where like Paul and Mike are like across from each other. So their legs are touching and like the girls are kind of straddling them. But then the cutlet popped out and it reminded them of like the
Not
fact that they have
understanding.
to play like they're straight
Yeah,
and it triggered
they were
them.
so enraged. They were so mad at women in that moment
Mm-hmm.
because they want us to have gay sex and they can't.
Yeah. The next day, Snooki has to go work at the gelato shop with Mike, and her work clothes kill me. She's in like the dumpiest little like capri sweatpants, and she's hates being there. And she's so short, she can't even see over the counter and she can't reach any of the ice cream. And she's just like, I hate this.
Enzo calls her at one point Nookie.
No.
He doesn't even say he doesn't even say Snooky. He goes Nookie.
Nuki,
Gnocchi.
try and get
Come
the
here.
ice cream. He is like keeps telling her like how to scoop it, and she's like, why, why, and like won't scoop it
I'm
right. And
like,
I was like,
I want to be like Enzo. This is not you. This was she is not here to work. She doesn't give a fuck. She's never gonna have to really work again. So like, just
yeah,
shut the fuck up.
she's found her true calling, which is being on a show, and she will only do something in service of the show. You're worse off having her working here and expecting her to do anything.
If I would have been like, I would have. I would hope that I'd be like Snooky. All you have to do is just literally like sit and like just go wah. Like you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And she'd go,
I'd be
oh.
like, you know what? Just make nice small talk with the customers and like make them feel
Mm-hmm.
really welcome. You can greet them when they
And she
come
goes,
in and direct them to like so and so who will like take their order and process it. That's all I want you to do. Just give us your good vibes. I love Mike. It's a really slow day and they're working with truly just some rando woman that works at this gelato store. And they're all just kind of sitting around. And then Mike turns to this woman and he goes, you know, if I take my shirt off, it'll probably be a situation. And she just like looks at him, like gets no response from that. And then he's like, I'm gonna go take my shirt off and like stand outside, which just alienates everyone and doesn't
no
get
one
anyone to
comes.
like come in the shop. But I love turning to someone who has no idea what you're talking about a very specific like inside baseball thing in regards to yourself, thinking that it's gonna land like and do just like numbers with this person. Like they're gonna he thought she was gonna be like, hell yeah, it will be. You're
No,
so hot. She goes,
Miami is a different place than Jersey. This isn't the t-shirt shop.
this isn't the t-shirt store.
This is South Beach, baby.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Later
They
in the
took
night, Sammy and Ron are spooning in bed, and then Mike comes in. He's like, "Yo, we're gonna go out." And Ron's like, "Oh, I kind of feel like staying in with you, but maybe I should go." And then her eyes she thinks Ron's gonna stay with her, stay in tonight, and Sam, her eyes bug so big, and I'm like, oh my god, she is truly, she is truly, her soul is being destroyed by this man.
Well, because he also came in from the club when he was so drunk and had just called her a fucking bitch and then humped on every woman that he saw. Snooki was like, you need to stop doing this. He shoves her. And then
Yeah,
all the guys are like, we got to get him out of here. He comes home, does like a garbled stand up routine in front of like the boys, talking about like how much puss he gets at the club, then is like rolling on the floor, then goes and just sleeps in Sam's room. And the crazier thing is she lets him in the bed. And so she lets him in to sleep with her after he's done all this and like bragged about like essentially getting ass and like fooling her into thinking that he cares. And so then the next day they're like hungover all day, like laying in bed. And I've definitely like done this with a guy where it's like, I'm like, I want him, she wants him to just stay there, but she doesn't say that. Instead, it's like a test where it's like the girl, JWoww, and where's Angelina? She's like dead somewhere.
she's like swimming in the ocean.
The girls, Snooki and JWoww, are like, let's go on a date night tonight. Like you and me, we'll just keep it really chill. Like we'll go to dinner. And then Sammy's like, what are you guys doing there? Like, we're going to dinner. You should come. And then Ron goes, oh, yeah, you should go with the girls. And then I'll maybe go with the guys. And then she's like, okay. And then he's like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And then that's when she's betrayed.
By the way, it's 12:15 a.m.
I love
The
going out to dinner.
Snooki and JWoww have a positively très chic European dinner at 1 a.m. at Tapas.
They're literally in Barcelona.
They're in Ibiza. They're in
They're in,
Barcelona.
they're in
They're in,
Portugal.
they're in
They're
Portugal. They're eating in. They're in the Canary Islands. They're positively sophisticated, eating tapas and having cocktails at 1 a.m.
they're
Talking about how
truly
Sammy's in trouble.
European glamour. Yeah, Sammy
They're
just
like,
then goes back into pout mode instead of saying, which I get it. Like Ron is not a safe person to vocalize your needs to because he can't meet them.
no,
But at the same
no,
time, you're trusting that someone's gonna just that this fucking meathead steroid freak is gonna intuit that like you really want him
yeah.
to like cuddle you all night. And then when he shocker says that he wants to go creep on girls at the club with the boys, you get mad. And then she goes into my least favorite thing that I've also very guilty as charged of, where you just stop looking and you go full under the covers and he goes to like kiss her goodbye and she goes, can you not, can you not, no, like just can you not, and then like won't even get out from under the covers. And I was like, this is hell.
Hetero hell.
Never again, never again will I ever be in a relationship like that. I pledge to you. Even Snooki
Well,
is like,
next,
even Snooki is like, what's wrong? Like, what? And Sammy's like, I can't believe he's like going out. Like, that's fucking crazy. And Snooki's like, well, you told him he could. And she goes, yeah, but I didn't like mean it. And she goes, fuck you. That was a test. She was like, you didn't even say. Snooki's over it. And then she and JWoww basically
talk shit.
decide, yeah, talk shit and decide that like Ron's a creep and
Uh,
he's they're trying to come up with like a low key way to tell.
this is, and next week's episode is
It's the episode.
the infamous letter writing at the computer bar at the
An
internet cafe.
internet cafe plays a massive role in the Jersey Shore lore.
So stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Find your local internet cafe and just get ready and take it in. Maybe take some notes.
Do internet cafes even exist anymore?
I think in like the Czech Republic.
Yeah. Remember like Luca Magnotta got captured at an internet cafe?
He's so scary.
I know. Guys,
Guys,
tickets for our show, Dynasty
woo,
Typewriter,
woo, woo.
January
They're going
11th and
fast.
January 18th are on sale. They're flying off the fucking shelves. So
Hot
smash
like
the link,
pancakes.
smash the link below in the episode description and get it while the getting's good because it ain't gonna be good for long.
And we'll see you back. We'll be back together in just a few days to
Yeah,
get ready
we'll
for
see
another
you.
episode of Salty and Bev Hills.
The season of Beverly Hills crawling towards its
Slouching
no
towards
doubt sad and downtrodden, disappointing conclusion. But we'll be here for it.
Arrivederci.
Love and light. Bye.